this portion of our work with sensory details, what you are going to be doing is you are going to be taking a bland and neutral paragraph, and you are going to be really playing with the mood of that paragraph by adding specific sensory details. What you'll see here in this space is the same paragraph pasted on both sides of this chart. Now remember, if you're struggling to see this at all, you can always go up here to this little drop down, click 100%, and that's how it's going to make it plenty big on your screen and for your text so that it's easy to work in this space. Your job is to highlight the mood that you are going to be selecting for your paragraph. So for this first one, I'm going to focus on switching it to something that is scary. So when you look at this original text, it reads like this. The girl reached over and grabbed the arm of the man. They had been in the room for a long time and knew that it was time to leave. Blah, 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 blah. Simple sentence after simple sentence after simple sentence. There's no details here. There's none of that rich text that we've been talking about over the last few portions of digging into these sensory details. And so what your job is whatever color you highlight this with, right? Whatever color I'm using here. Let me see what I've got. I'm going to get green this time around. Okay, and whatever color text that is, then every time I am writing and upgrading the way that this looks, I am going to be highlighting it green. So here's how this would go. If I'm doing something that's scary, it's not just the girl, right? This is going to be the girl still covered in sweat and blood, comma, reached over. She didn't grab the arm of this man. She reached over and locked his arm in a vice grip. Locked his arm in a vice grip that spoke of the terror that coursed through her veins. They had been in the room. Nope, it's not just a room. They had been in, how are we going to make this scary? This is what I'm thinking about over and over and over. All right, so I clearly zoned off there as I was like digging in. But what you can see as you go through this is you can see how I was editing and shifting portions of the text. Some of it is going to remain without highlights, right? But the majority of it, I am really digging in and I am showing how this little bland paragraph can be turned into something that somebody is anxious to read, something that is going to make people feel like this was scary, that this moment was something that they wanted to, get away from as fast as humanly possible. Those words and those descriptors, all those pieces of sensory language that I'm using, though, if I'm trying to create something that's scary versus something that is romantic, is completely different. And so what you would do then in that second one is now you're going to shift and you're changing the kind of mood that you are focused on here. So again, it's probably not just the girl, or maybe she didn't just reach over, right? I could even leave it as the girl this time. Again, I'm going to highlight in whatever color it is that I'm choosing. If I'm writing something that is romantic, right, and I want to show that I am trying to like position this girl's hand to where she's trying to be able to like hold hands with this person for the first time, you'll notice that I'm like almost giving the fingers themselves personification, right? Letting them show themselves as humans. Instead of they had been in the room for a long time, that's like, and boring. You might say that they had cozied up on the long floral couch that occupied the center of her 4-story home and was directly in the path of light pouring in from windows all around. And knew that it was time to leave. So again, there's a completely different way that you can go about this. You're changing all of the words that are associated with it, but your goal is to craft these paragraphs, and you're going to do it all the way through. If you find that you're like running out of space, you can actually even just click 3 times. Never hesitate. If you need to, you can change the font size on this stuff so that it all fits on your slide. But your job is to completely go through both of these paragraphs, adding text, adding details, really amping up the way that this is written to show us how much you understand where sensory details belong, and so that you understand how much sensory details can shift the mood of a particular piece. Please make sure that you are going ahead and starting your timer to work on this portion of your assignment.